All right, I've got a 2016 GMC with the center console here, and the wireless charger doesn't work with the iPhone, so I'm going to show you how I fixed it or did my own little thing for it. So first thing you got to do is take this black case off here. Just get something wedged into here and start prying a little bit, and these clips here will just come right out. So it's just clipped in. It's really easy to get off. Get that to the side. And this is the wireless charging thing here. It's held on by 4 screws here, and then 2 on the other side. We're going to take that off. And there's a plug down here. We're going to unplug that. It's just a little clip. It comes right out. Here's the wireless charging thing I just got out. There's 5 screws. I've already removed a lot of them that hold this thing together. So we'll take those out real quick. Right, when you get it apart, it'll kind of look like this. There's some adhesive here that holds kind of this whole thing together. So when you go to take it apart, you'll have to pry on it a little bit, but it will become unstuck. And don't worry about breaking any of this electronic stuff here, because we're not going to use any of that anyway. Just try to keep this intact, because we're going to use that to mount it back in the vehicle. At this point, what you can do is take this completely out. And all I did is I took this little resistor thing off. It's just a little band that pops right out of here. And I just got a screwdriver right under there and popped it. There's just a little bit of putty under there that kind of holds that in place. And then that whole unit comes right out. We're going to set that aside. Next thing I did is I got a Belkin wireless charger. I'm sure all of these have the same insides to them. This one is a model F8M747. There's 4 screws on this, so I took this back pad off. And there's 4 little bitty Phillips head screws here holding it together. Once I had that, just got a screwdriver in between the black and the white there, and I popped that apart. Again, you can't really damage anything, so you can go after it pretty good. Pop that loose, and that's what we got in there, and this is the part that we're after. So this is the part that's going to do the wireless charging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm actually going to mount it so the charger part, or the USB, I think it's a micro USB, is pointed this way, so the cable's going to come right out here, and we're going to use that to wire down into the USB that's inside that center console, just so it looks nice. So I'm going to put that together, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now that you got this apart, let me show you what I did. There were 4 metal nubs that were getting in the way that were on the back of this wireless charging unit. So I just used side nips and a file to get them nice and smooth, just so they're out of the way of the board. And then the back of the board is actually going to sit, or the back of this charging unit is going to sit right there. And just to make sure that we're not conducting, any electricity here, I just use a piece of plastic on the bottom of this. This plastic I actually got right out of the box that the wireless charger came in. And I just used some of that putty that was on the back of this, the unit that we're getting rid of, just to kind of hold it in place. And I'm not sure if it needs to be there or not. So anyway, I just put it on there. So I just cut that piece out, put it right there. So we won't be conducting any electricity that we don't want to. And then I'm going to put this thing together. So like I said, just make sure that the charging part is kind of towards where this hole is, just to make it easier to put the wire in, get it. Okay, so I ended up cutting out the plastic a little bit to bring this more to the surface. It wasn't quite working with the plastic cover on, so I just nipped kind of around all of the wires, and I just used 10 snips. Made it fit a little bit better, so that seems to work. So get this coil cut out so it's completely open, and get it as far up towards the rubber as you can. I got the cable in, just put it in here, bent it really good so it's coming out this hole where the clip used to be, or the wiring used to be. Stuck that board down, got my plastic in place. I'm going to use a piece of foam because there's going to be, this charging part is going to make the this part a little bit wobbly on the back, so I just want to give it a little more support. So I'm just putting, packing foam that I'm sure Amazon sent me at some point in here, just to kind of even it out. Then what I'm going to do is actually screw this thing together again. Alright, so it's remounted in. I've got the screws on the black part on either side there. Of course I dropped one because that's the way I do things. Don't know where it went. Anyway, I put the factory cable kind of tucked in here where it goes, and then the USB cable is coming out here. I ran it on the inside of this the same way as they did their factory side, and over into one of the USB ports. So I'm going to start her up. I got a OtterBox slim cover on. Just going to set her on the charger here, and there it goes. I have an iPhone 8 charging in a 2016 Chevy Silverado, and it's doing just fine.